Greetings, my little yarnivores, Fiber Spider, back with another helpful hint for you. Okie dokie. So, now recently, one of my viewers asked me a question about what do you do if you make a mistake and you're afraid that you're going to drop some stitches. Well, my solution to her was to use a lifeline. And this is particularly helpful if you have a very complex pattern, say you're using cables or yarn overs or what have you, and you get really far and then you make a mistake and they're like, oh, damn. So what you want to do is beforehand, you're going to use a little bit of prevention fixer-upper methodology here. And so a lifeline is actually, you're going to take a piece of scrap yarn and a yarn needle, and you're going to go through the stitches on your needle, and that is going to act as a lifeline, hence the name. So now, because there are purl bumps on the front of this piece, it's a lot easier, I found, if you go through the back, where there are no purl bumps. And so basically you're just running the needle underneath the stitches, and you don't want to get it caught on the yarn as you go through, of course. And so you just pull it through, and then you do some more, and you go for the entire length of the piece, naturally. And that way, if, gosh forbid, you do make a mistake, you won't have to completely start over, nor will you have to deal with picking up loose, open, working stitches, which can be a nightmare. I speak from experience. And actually, before I learned about this technique, I've actually undone entire projects and wasted, tons and tons of time. But in a sense, if you learn something from the experience, then you know what? It's worth it, because that's what we do. We learn. We are learning creatures. Okay, so now, as you can see, I have my lifeline going through all of those stitches, and now I can just continue to knit as normal. And I'm going to do that for a bit, and then I'll show you how the lifeline works. All right, be back in a bit. Okay, so I've been knitting for a bit and deliberately been making mistakes. So as you can see, I have a knit where there should be, a purl bump, and then over here, I have some other craziness going on. So obviously, I made a mistake, but that's okay, because there should be, purl bumps over here, and it, mistake. Okay, so here's what you do. You bite the bullet and you take your needle out. I know it's a scary notion, but hence why we have the lifeline. So then you just rip out the offending rows back to your lifeline, and all the working stitches are caught on the lifeline. And then what you do is, quite simply, you then pick up those stitches with your needle, going back through. Now, what you can do, in fact, what you should do, is pick up your stitches with a slightly smaller needle, make it a little bit easier, and then when you continue knitting, knit with your regular sized needle. If you're just picking up the stitches, that's one thing, but when you're actually creating the knit stitches, you need to have your regular sized needle. So there you are, My stitches have been saved. All these precious previous rows are hunky-dory, and we have our lifeline in place, and no problem. And this is a really great trick for beginners so that they don't get easily discouraged by having to undo everything, and it becomes a much less daunting experience. And for experienced knitters, it's a really great trick if you are doing a very complex pattern and you're trying to, be brave and do those cables and your lace work and so forth. This is a lifesaver, hence it is a lifeline. So listen, I hope that you enjoyed this little tip, and if you did, please hit the thumbs up, little like at the bottom, would greatly appreciate that. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions for future videos, please, by all means, I'm all ears, hence why I'm making this video in the first place. So listen, until the next video, stay caffeinated, stay inspired, and keep stitching. Until next time, you have a great, great day, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.